Hey guys, it's Mary Lee the Diamond Dinosaur coming at you right now. That's right, it is me, the double D 33. Oh my goodness, I almost stumbled over my own words. Not a good day for me today, aside from still not feeling great. Still haven't figured out if it's some kind of an allergic reaction or just maybe a head cold that's, settling in my sinuses, making my eyes itch and water. Not 100% sure yet, but hey, we're getting there. We're working things out. So this might be a quick whip. I just wanted to go over, my thoughts on, all the coach firings in the NFL and playoff football. And just talk about, I was at the game yesterday against the 49ers. So just figured I'd hop on today. I am off today because I went to the game yesterday. So I did take the day off. So I figured I'd be able to get my WIP in today as opposed to when I would normally do it, which would have been Saturday. So that being said, let me tell you a little bit about what I'm working on. I'm working on Rococo's Dreams from Enos Guerrero, and I'm doing this for the Pink and Black 2026 paint along. I definitely feel like I took a little bit too much on this year when, my resolution was to have 4 WIPs going at one time. But when I meant that, I meant 4 WIPs going that I could do all the time at my own pace. But I decided to hop in and ended up in 3 events, and I'm just not feeling that right now. So I'm just gonna do it as a paint along. I'm not gonna try to enter for prizes. Sorry guys, I had to let my dogs in. So I had to step away for a minute, sorry. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. My tray that I'm using was from Ditty's Diamond Den, the dog design for the Pink and Black paint along. Same, I have my my trinket tray, which is the Pink and Black. I'm using some Patsy's putty for my multi-placer, some glue dots for my single placer, and the pen I'm using for this kit is it is from Poshy Pens. So I thought it was appropriate, little skulls and pink and black and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, so let me hop right into it and get some drills in this tray, and we can maybe continue. So yeah, the football season ended last week, so last week, several head coaches lost their job. I think probably the one I'm most surprised at is John Harbaugh from the Ravens. He is, I think, either the 12th or the 18th winningest coach currently in the NFL. So I was a little shocked. Usually when you're going to do something that drastic, you're going to start and you're going to get rid of your offensive coach and or your defensive coach. You're not going to just jump right in there and get rid of the head coach. I'm not quite sure 100% what the reason is for that thought process. I did hear some rumblings that he may have lost the locker room. So when you lose the locker room as the head coach, it's kind of hard to come back from that, especially when you have 2 high-profile players like Lamar Jackson as your quarterback and Derrick Henry as your running back. So it's a little hard to come back for. So John Harbaugh is currently on the market. Hint, hint, Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman. Okay. Mike McDaniel from the Miami Dolphins, he lost his job as head coach. I like Mike McDaniels. I think he's a really fun coach. He's a really fun guy. Like, his antics and stuff are pretty hilarious. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he was a really good fit for Miami. He was a coach there for a few years. Kevin Stefanski of the Cleveland Browns. He is now on the market as he lost his job. Cliff Kingsbury, the OC of the Washington Commanders, is on the market, as is Jonathan Gannon, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, is also in the wings looking. On top of that, you still have coaches like Brian Daboll, Mike McCarthy. They are still also on the market as well. So, just some interesting names to throw out there. Next on my agenda are my Philadelphia Eagles, who have been eliminated from playoff contention by the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I don't know if I said this on previous WIPs, but some of my closest friends have heard me say this. We kind of needed to go 1-and-out. I expected them to go 1-and-out. I didn't expect them to get very far. When you have an offense that is not playing to its fullest potential, that's a problem. And that's clearly play calling, because you had signs of greatness from our offensive players. But when the plays aren't being schemed and the calls aren't being played or called, the plays aren't being called appropriately, this is what you have, and you become potentially stale and predictable. And, hey, I don't know why we're running the ball when it's 2-15 or 3-28. We're going to just run the ball. I don't understand that whole concept. And I also don't understand why we're constantly running Saquon Barkley up the middle. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not a play caller. I'm not an offensive coach, and I do not pretend to be. I am just a woman who, as a child, played tackle football with a lot of boys without pads in a back lot, right? Snow, rain, mud, it didn't matter. We were playing. So, again, Kevin Patullo, the offensive coach, caller, coordinator, whatever you want to call him this week. I have a lot of other things I'd like to call him, but I'm not going to say that on my WIP. He needs to be fired completely, removed from the organization. Second of all, our head coach, Nick Sirianni, I don't give a crap whether he's taken us to 2 Super Bowls, winning one and not the other. I don't care if he's the most winningest coach in Philadelphia history. I don't care. But when you have a coach, let me start from the beginning. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl the first time, back in 2018, I think it was, with Nick Foles, our coach was Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson was fired by Jeffrey Lurie because he wanted to promote a defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator from within his own staff. And because he would not waver on that, they fired him. We go to the Super Bowl. You hire Nick Sirianni. His first year, we go 2-5. They take play calling away from him and give it to Shane Steichen, who was our offensive coordinator. We dominate the season. We go to the Super Bowl. We outplay the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. However, we came up short, right? Okay. Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon, our DC and OC, they get jobs as head coaches. So, for whatever reason, they allow Nick Sirianni to promote from within an OC and a DC. And here we have the 2023 year of the crash out, collapse, massive collapse of the Philadelphia Eagles. Very, very sad, massive collapse. They fire those two, and they bring in last year Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. Again, Nick Sirianni is not into the play calling. And we go to the Super Bowl. We dominate. We go to the Super Bowl. We win the Super Bowl. Belt to ass on the Chiefs. I like to say we broke the Chiefs because the Chiefs are not anywhere near the playoffs this year. Okay. So Kellen Moore gets a head coaching job, and he goes elsewhere to the Saints. I think that was a mistake on Kellen Moore's part. I think he should have stayed as a head coach OC 1 more year, and then maybe potentially it would have raised his stock a little bit within you know, made him more valuable to a team to become a head coach. But that's just me being me, neither here nor there. Okay. So now we have Nick Sirianni hires his buddy Kevin Patullo to be the offensive coordinator. This is a man that has never called plays in his life, never been a play caller. You allow him to come in. After the 5th week of seeing how bad our offense was performing, we're either great in the first half and then we just take our foot off the gas. We do nothing to move forward. We're barely hanging on and we're barely winning these games thanks to our defense. And no one did anything about it. Nick Sirianni should be fired for that. We all saw it as fans. We all saw it. Even if we were not a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, they saw it. And Nick Sirianni knew it, and he chose to ignore it because that is his friend. You could have brought in an offensive consultant to help Kevin Patullo learn how to scheme plays and become a proficient play caller. And you didn't, Nick. You didn't. It was very sad to watch that yesterday, even though I knew that they weren't going to win. You know, you hope that your team wins. I mean, I was hopeful. But I knew they were going 1-0 because even if they beat the 49ers, they weren't going to beat the Bears. They weren't going to beat the Rams. And they damn sure weren't going to beat the Seahawks. Go Hawks. That's for my husband. He's a Hawks fan. So rather to go 1-out than completely embarrass yourself moving forward. If I was the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, I would have, they would have been fired last night before they even got back to the locker room. Both of them. It was just, the first half was decent. Second half, nothing. So, needless to say, Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo. And you know what? I want to fault Kevin Patullo so much, but I got to tell you, this is on Nick Sirianni because he knew it and did nothing to do it. He did nothing to stop it. He did nothing about it. You literally wasted a championship defense for nothing. For nothing. You wasted Brandon Graham coming out of retirement to play one more year for nothing. You wasted Nakobe Dean's last year as an Eagle, potentially, for nothing. This is on you, Nick Sirianni. This is on you. Now, let me speak of some of my players right now. First of all, let me speak to Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, 2'6", I love you. Amazing running back. Probably the best, one of the best to ever play the game. Ran for over 2,000 yards last season and postseason. Set a record. Why is it this man cannot, for whatever reason, all of a sudden, not catch a pass? When I saw him as a New York Giant catching passes on the run with one hand and running. And now he can't even stand there and catch a pass, bro. What is happening? Again, 2'6", I love you. And I'm glad you're a running back. Number 2, Jake Elliott, our kicker. Please don't be here next year. We cannot have a kicker that only hits 70% of his shots, especially when we need him the most. If he would have made that field goal in the beginning of the game, we wouldn't have had to try to get a touchdown. We would have only had to get a field goal to tie the game last night. But no, he's missed more kicks the past year than he's ever missed before. So he needs to not be here next year. So if I'm Howie Roseman, I'm looking for a kicker in free agency and in the draft. And number 3, let's talk about Mr. Always Open, A.J. Brown, number 11. Sir, if you were going to show out in the regular season and talk all this shit about how you need to get the ball more and we can win more games and you're this and you're that and you need to get the ball more, and then when it's crunch time, you can't catch? Nah, nope. I would trade him for a couple of nice draft picks and use them to get a kicker and work on that offensive line, because that needs some help too. So alas, that is the end of the 2025 Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles and how their story ended for the 2025 season. Side note, I don't see the 49ers going much further. They have too many injuries. I think they go to Seattle next, and they're going to play in Seattle. I don't really think they can beat Seattle. Seattle just held them to 3 points. Are you kidding? So that being said, let's talk about something else besides football. So, again, I think I mentioned that I'm doing these paint-alongs, but I'm not going to be participating in any prize drawings. I'm currently in the Mary Morales, which ends the 31st of this month. This pink and black paint-along ends the 31st of this month. And then the other event that I am in is the Ivy Dollamore paint-along, which goes to March 31st. So I will probably participate in that one for prizes, only because it's pretty much the last one that's going to be on the books for me. And then I'm just going to stick to my own little WIPs. Sorry guys, I need a drink of coffee. I'm probably going to have a small shop haul today at some point. I'm expecting some Happy Mail. I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pens due in this week. I have some Happy Mail from Pretty Little Gems, which will be here today. So if I can get the pen and Pretty Little Gems, I'll do a little small shop haul for later and get that up. Again, I just wanted to sit here and do my WIP. I didn't want to think that I was forgetting anybody. I knew I normally do it on Saturdays for my football picks, but my football picks are over. And if anyone was curious, I did beat my husband this year in the pigskin pick'em. So yes, I'm the reigning champ. I think as far as football goes and the Super Bowl, I think our Super Bowl is probably going to consist of well, now, you know, I was originally saying the Rams and the Patriots. But, like, I didn't realize that Seattle was balling out like they were. I mean, I was watching them, but on the down low, right? So, they may go instead of the Rams, but it's going to be interesting. Rams is going to be up there. The Rams are definitely, I believe, going to be in the NFC picture, the NFC Championship. Whether it's against the Bears or the Seahawks, I'm not sure. And the Bills could finally get to the AFC Championship and win, which you're welcome, Josh Allen, for us breaking the Chiefs and eliminating Patrick Mahomes from playoff contention, because you have an open door now. You should be winning. However, there's a small part of me that would like to see them lose the AFC Championship and not get to the Super Bowl because of the following. The coach, McDermott, wanted to ban the tush push because the Philadelphia Eagles have perfected this play and it was pretty much unstoppable. When, dude, You as the Buffalo Bills run it just as much as the Eagles. If not, you've run it more this year than we have. So you know what? You don't deserve to win. You're on my naughty list. And I don't like you. I don't care if you do have ties to Philadelphia. I could give a crap less. I don't like you. And the Bills Mafia are far worse than the Eagles fans, for sure. These people are crashing shirtless through flaming tables. Tables that are literally on fire and burning. And they're jumping through them. Like, what is wrong? What is wrong with the NFL football fans? I have no idea. I'm afraid, though. Sometimes they're scary. I'm frightened. But, so guys, I knew this is going to be a quick one. It's about 20 minutes. I'm going to hop off. I'm probably going to take probably some Benadryl and just lay down for a little while. Just because I got to figure out what's going on with me. I think it's, I don't think it's necessarily allergies though. I just think it's a cold. I don't even know. I don't know. All I know is I'm going to take advantage of the day that I have, by not having to worry about working and using my eyeballs to see as they water profusely like Niagara Falls. So, that's all I got, guys. New stuff coming, during my WIPs for sure. As football season is over, I will be focusing more now on, the combine and, the draftees who are coming out for the draft this year and are going to be available for drafting. I do follow that, and I do like to watch the NFL draft. I like to pick players who I like to see my team get. So I will be focusing on that. I might touch on that a little bit here and there, but just trying to see which direction I want to go right now with my WIPs. So that might take me a little time, but we'll get it taken care of. And I hope you guys, again, thanks for checking out my channel. Thanks for liking, subscribing. And I will see you in the lair next week. Bye, guys.